And breaking news coming in regarding the Trump-Putin Alaska summit that's going to be taking place in just a few hours. The Kremlin saying U.S. President Donald Trump will be greeting his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin on his plane after it touches down in Alaska later in the day. In fact, the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov saying he's told the state media ahead of Putin's departure to Alaska. Peskov says 1900 GMT or 12:30 a.m. IST, Putin is scheduled to land in Alaska, following which Trump will be meeting the Russian president. Meanwhile, Trump spoke with the Belarusian leader, Alexander Lukashenko, a close ally of Putin, over the phone. This hours ahead of Trump's summit with Putin in Alaska. And ahead of the highly anticipated high-stakes summit and the meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, the latest update coming in, the Kremlin saying U.S. President Donald Trump will be greeting Vladimir Putin at his plane after it touches down in Alaska. Remember, that's where the summit is going to be taking place. In fact, the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has told state media that when Putin lands in Alaska, Trump is expected to meet him and he will be greeting him. In fact, Trump spoke with the Belarusian leader as well, who, remember, is a close ally of Vladimir Putin. All of this happening just hours ahead of that meeting between the two leaders in Alaska on the Ukraine war, a highly anticipated meeting with high expectations. And let's go straight across now to our correspondent Susan Teherani, who's been tracking those developments, is now with us for the latest. Let's just get in quick updates now. Susan, I have to begin by asking, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the symbolism and the optics at play here. We also got in statements from the two sides. U.S. President Donald Trump calling it high stakes, Russia saying that their position remains clear and unambiguous. Of that also, we have the latest coming in of the way in which the U.S. president will be greeting Vladimir Putin. A lot of symbolism at play here.
A lot of symbolism, even Alaska, being sort of a territory where the Russian president can sort of fly to the United States essentially without passing hostile territories in different countries in their view, and then meeting at a place where the president is hosting him. A lot of analysts believe that this is already a win for Vladimir Putin. He's gotten that credibility from the United States and the U.S. president just going into this meeting, and also bringing so many officials that are related to trade when it comes to Russia. So he knows that President Trump is a businessman. He appreciates that. But also on the part of the president, really almost offering an olive branch to Russian President Vladimir Putin, as you mentioned, saying that he's going to step in on his airplane. We are also getting reports that there may be a joint press conference afterwards. Now, the White House is telling some reporters that joint press conference is only going to happen if the meeting goes well. If it doesn't go well, then President Trump is expected to have a solo press conference and talk to reporters. And again, talking about symbolism, we know that President Trump said that he's going to find out in the first few minutes whether or not Russia is serious. However, he's managing expectations. He's saying that I'm not going in there to negotiate on behalf of Ukraine. I'm trying to bring Russia to the table. We assume that means for President Trump, this meeting is important. It helps him demonstrate that he's a deal maker in many ways, but also ultimately how important it is for that second meeting between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin to take place, possibly with the United States in company as well. So as you mentioned, there's a lot of symbolism. There's parts of Alaska that Russia still owns, a small island. So it's sort of, in a way, may appear like it's on neutral grounds, but nonetheless, for Vladimir Putin to step foot here in the United States, it's a big deal. And of course, world leaders will be watching as well to see how their countries are going to be affected, not just in Europe, but around the world. Remember, the issue of trade is very important, not only bilaterally, but also just multilaterally around the world as well, including India.